Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We are currently on the test server, guys. We're gonna have a look at the brand new fusion champion, Zinogre. We're gonna see if she's actually worth your investment, what can the champion do, and how important she will be for your own account. Now, personally, for me, she will be important for the Cursed series and potentially for other things that might drop in the future. But of course, not everybody is interested in that, so I perfectly understand if you don't wanna care about the fusion. The requirements, honestly, they don't seem to be too crazy compared to the previous fusions that we had, so if you have the resources, you might want to consider it. If you need to break the bank, I always suggest you don't break the bank for any of them, because yeah, it's generally not worth it, to break the bank for pixels. But let's actually head over to the champion right here. So we have Zinogre Blademaster. Now, overall, she's meant to be Fire Knight Slayer. For hard mode, she's not really meant to actually control the boss herself, but she's meant to kind of like enable a bit the other one. She's meant to help you knock down the shield. Initially, I thought that her damage will be a bit better. The multipliers are not as good as I would like them to be on a champion like her, and that might drop her a bit out of content like Clan Boss and other areas like that. But we're going to try her in Clan Boss. We're going to try her in the Fire Knight. And of course, we're going to try her in the Sand Devils. And I'm going to explain you everything in just a second. The stats on the champion, pretty good HP, pretty good attack, fairly decent defense, 104 speed, basic crit and crit damage for a nuker. And other than that, she's not a bad champion in terms of stats for sure, because she's not too squishy. Her attack is a bit low. I would like this to be at 1.5, 1.6, considering her multipliers. But with the A1, attacks one enemy 3 times, has a 30% chance of placing a weakened debuff for 2 turns. That will be, of course, with each one of the hits. With the A2, attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit increases this champion's turn meter by 5%. Also places an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. And this will be on a 3-turn cooldown fully booked. Now, when we are going into the Clan Boss, because I'm going to try her with Man-Eaters, okay? That's on block damage teams, I wouldn't use her, okay? Like, there are plenty of different options. But for unkillable teams, you might be a bit more interested in this champion because of her passive. And we're not going to use this skill with a double Man-Eater team. But we're going to use this. Attacks one enemy 4 times. Before attacking, places an increased attack on the champion. The first and second hit will put a leech on the enemy. The third and fourth will put a decreased attack. Now, I like that she's bringing weaken with the A1. Increased speed for the entire team with the A2. Increased attack on herself. Leech and decreased attack on the enemy. I like that part, okay? She's bringing a lot of things in the kit. The passive, which at the moment apparently is bugged on the test server, guys. So if by any chance it's not going to work as intended, we're going to have to wait and see when we get to that part. But the healing doesn't seem to be applying properly. So they're planning to fix that on the test server too. It's some sort of a bug. Increases the damage this champion deals by 1% for every 1% of the HP lost, stacking up to 50%, similar with what Bleorius has, for example. This increased damage doubles if a target is under a defense down debuff. Prevents this champion's death and keeps them alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. And this will be on a 4-turn cooldown. If this skill prevents this champion's death, heals them by 50% of their max HP. Will not prevent this champion's death if they are under a heal reduction debuff. So, as long as you don't have heal reduction placed by the enemy on the champion, she should be able to kind of like keep herself alive. Speed aura for dungeons, which is very, very nice, especially for the Fire Knight, 30%. Now, the only problem that I have with this is that, unfortunately, it's not going to work in the Doom Tower, it's not going to work in the Cursed series, so it's a bit of a bummer that even though there are dungeon bosses in there, this is not considered an aura that will work in there, So that being said, guys, let me just quickly show you the build that I have on the champion, show you the stats. So for the initial test, which will be Clan Boss first, that's what I want to try. We have her on a Fury set and a crit damage set. And I didn't give her accuracy to land the leech and the decreased attack, mainly because of the leech. I don't want that leech to mess up her kit. And I've just realized, talking about it, that the Masteries will mess her up a bit too. So we're gonna change that in a second. But these are the total stats: 36k HP, 6.1k attack. 6.1k attack is actually pretty good considering that she has a 1.4k attack, you know, so definitely not a bad attack on her. 171 speed, full crit rate, 271 crit damage. So what I just realized is actually that I have Life Drinker, and that will heal her back, so that will reduce the damage. So let me just quickly change that. Actually, I feel like is going to be a better option to have her like this, you know. No Life Drinker, so like that we don't have to worry about her getting to heal back too often and not getting the job done, basically, you know, not getting the job done. Let's get the first hit with a bit of extra damage in there, you know. So those are the Masteries. Giant Slayer, because she does have a lot of multi hits, you know, that will actually benefit you quite a bit. So this is the team that we're running right here, guys. Double Man-Eater, double ally attack. We're gonna have defense down and weaken from the other champions. I don't want to have any accuracy on her. I actually had to go and remove the faction guardians, change her banner, just to make sure that I'm dropping the accuracy, because she was still constantly landing the leech with what accuracy she had before, 170 or something like that. So let's actually crack on it. We're gonna start the rotation right here. So we're gonna go A1 if I'm not mistaken, and that should kind of like put us in the right direction. I think we need to have a 2-turn delay, if I'm not mistaken, on each one of the Man-Eater, on one 2-turn, on one 4 actually. But I might be wrong with that. No, that should be fine. Just checking on the calculator. Okay, so if everything goes right, if nothing is messed up in terms of speeds in here, you know, we have the how you call it, the new Great Hall for Clan Boss, and long time ago I just clicked on it once to put 1 speed, and I always forget about it, and that messes me up. So hopefully we should be fine. So we landed the debuffs even like this without having very high accuracy, unfortunately. So let's give it another go right here. Let's give it another go right here. And then we're gonna place Unkillable with that Man-Eater weakened. We have the weaken on. Beautiful. We're not gonna use her A2. I will stop it towards the end to use the A2 to see what sort of damage we're getting from there. So 1 Unkillable there. A1 right there. 1 more turn delay on him, and then we should be ready to rumble, hopefully. If everything goes good. So we have weaken, defense down, increase attack, increase crit damage on her. Let's see with the A1. 64, 65, 65. So we are getting over 200k damage approximately, and that's without actually using any Giant Slayers. You know, if the Giant Slayer procs, that actually adds a bit of extra damage for a basic skill. Now, true, we had increased crit damage and increased attack, which is adding quite a bit, you know. But there we go. One Man-Eater bites the dust. Land the defense down. Make sure we're gonna keep her on every single round. So it seems like she's still taking a turn for whatever reason after, which is fine. I thought that she will not overlap this Man-Eater, but I think she might still overlap them for a while longer. But let's put it on auto. From here on, we should be spot on. We had a 4-turn delay, right? And then a 2-turn delay, and I think we should be more than good like this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, so she got the stun right there. Damn, she's actually pretty low right now. Let's see. Unkillable. So we are sorted with 1. 93, 88, 89. We actually want her to be down on a low HP, so hopefully she's going to stay like this. Okay, counter attack. Once she's going to put the increased attack on herself, we'll see. Now my Man-Eaters are built with Savage, so they deal pretty good damage too. Oh wow! Actually, on low HP, she dropped like 600k damage, man. So if the leech doesn't proc and we have defense down to increase that, 600k damage is hell yeah, more than I expected. You know, like right now, it doesn't seem like she's doing that much because she's almost on full HP. She only really needs to be under 50% HP. So the Masteries activate as well. 57, 64, 61. But that's without having that defense down. Come on, Ferrokin, don't let me down. Thank you. Weaken, beautiful. Look at that, man. Look at what 600k, 800k, because they're 4 hits. So she's almost dealing 1 million damage with her A3. When she's like, and the A1, look at that. The A1 was 500k too. Get out of here, man. So on double man-eater team, that's actually very solid on unkillable teams. She brings in quite a good chunk of damage. Look at that. 500k almost, and that was without weaken too, you know? Of course, we're counter-attacking right now. We have no increased attack, so that makes quite a bit of a difference. Man, only if she would have had... look at that, man. 800 plus K with without even proccing the Giant Slayers. Like, that's awesome, though. Like, come on. You cannot cry about that. Like, you're bringing Turvold in, and he does a bit more than that, you know? And he does a bit more than that. So if you are building her properly and you're kind of like putting her in the right team with the right stuff, she's macking. Like, that's actually serious damage. 1 million damage almost with the hits. If 2 Giant Slayer procs is 1 million damage, you know? Yeah, the Fury will help a bit too, of course. So that will increase a bit the damage as well. But damn, look at that. Look at that. You cannot complain about that. Unfortunately, we landed a leech, so that healed her back. And you saw the damage, how much it dropped because we went back to full HP. So from 200k, it went to like, what, 80k? Something like that. So if anyone, I'm not sure if how many people actually made videos on her and how many of them actually tested her in Clan Boss. And if they did, how they tested her in Clan Boss. But I'm curious if people did block damage teams and stuff like that, and then they said how crap she is because she deals no damage. Very curious to know that, though. Don't stop healing, please. And again, we landed the leech. Like, you really want to have as low accuracy as possible on her. And if that's the case, that means that she will drop a lot of damage on other bosses too when she's low on stats, you know. But the good part is that the Clan Boss literally drops all our HP in a go from here. Ferrokin, land the defense down. Don't let me down. So that was almost 300k with the A1 right there without defense down. So we're not actually doubling the damage. Beautiful. That's for 3 turns too. 221, 210, 229, 197. And Giant Slayer procs 2 on top of it. Come on, dude. Come on. That's actually awesome. That's actually awesome. But guys, I'm going to fast forward from here on towards the end where I'm going to stop it for a second. And I'm going to use the A2 to see the damage as well. I'm going to try to kind of like time it all to be perfect. Even though I might cut the run a bit short from the 50 turns just to see the A2 in action too. But so far, when she's actually at the right HP and everything works, she deals crazy good damage. Like, I'm definitely, yeah, that's very good damage, you know? So I'll be back in a second. Right, guys, so here we are. We are super close to the end. We are at 83 million damage. So far, with the A1, she deals for a minimum of 170k per hit. So that is almost 600k, 500 to 600k with the basic skill without the Giant Slayer procs. So what I want to see is how is the A2 going to perform. I have the defense down. I don't have the weaken, but I will have it in just a second. I'm going to make sure I'm putting it. Let's see if we can increase that. Nice. Weaken. I don't have increased attack, so I'm going to have to wait for that, basically. Let's see. We put it in now, and then we're going to... Oh, no. We're going to use the A2. Please don't land that leech, man. Why are you doing me that dirty? Okay. Seems like I'm going to have to time it spot on right here. Literally the next turn. Luckily, I'm not losing the increased attack just yet. But do I have the defense down after? That's my problem. I need that Ferrokin to don't let me down, basically. So I do want to see that A2 in action too, at least once. Please, put the defense down. I need a much better champion to do defense down, because if I would have had a more reliable defense down champion, my god, she would have done even crazier damage. Trust me when I'm telling you that. Resisted? Seriously? Resisted from what? Like, you have plenty of accuracy, dude. Beautiful. Just on time. Just on time. So now we're gonna go with the A2 and we're gonna see what we can do with that. We don't have increased crit damage, unfortunately, but let's see. 187, 187, 192, 165. Very similar with her A3. And she's still alive. She's still alive, and she said, you know what, Skratch? Let me just give him a few more hits. Let me just do it a bit more, you know? So you see, the healing didn't proc on her, unfortunately. 90 million. 90 million with a team on a 1-to-1 ratio, guys, okay? So we have Longbeard with 13.2 million. We have a Blademaster with 33.3. And I can guarantee you, in a better scenario, with a better defense down champion, with less accuracy on her, I feel like we can break the 40 million without even increasing the stats that we already have, because they're pretty good, you know? Maneater 1, which is on Savage, 17.8, and the other one 13, Ferrokin 13 as well. So she dealt more than double than any other champion in the team here, you know? So I'm very, very satisfied. I'm very impressed with her damage, because she actually didn't look that interesting to start with, you know, till her HP dropped and we had everything on point. And then we were like, wow, you know, the damage is good. But let me just quickly change the build and let's try her in the Fire Knight. So for the Fire Knight, guys, I decided to put her on a Relentless set and a Perception. We have enough accuracy to debuff the hard mode Fire Knight on stage 10. She is a bit slower than the boss because I want her to actually take the turn after. And the reason why I didn't went on with the Savage set, for example, is I feel like for this particular stage, I'm going to use a pretty disgusting team. And I feel like there are quite a few different champions that will perform better than her. And I feel like she's more important on stages or on accounts where you don't have all these disgusting teams available and you're struggling to make a team to get you there. And I feel like that's what she will enable, basically. Plus, the Cursed series is going to be massive there whenever we're going to have restrictions with the Shadowkin for the Fire Knight. I really wish I would have had Lady Mikage available on my account on the test server, because she would have paired amazing with her. You know, whenever Lady Mikage would use the A1, she would use the A1 too. They will drop the shield so freaking fast on the Fire Knight, you know. But these are the total stats at the moment. She's a bit slower than the Fire Knight because I cannot go crazy with the speed on my team. Now, she will bring you a 30% speed aura for dungeons, which will be very helpful. She almost has 6k attack, 235 speed, full crit rate, 262 crit damage, you know. And then right here we have 349 accuracy. So overall, we should be pretty good with the stats. Mastery-wise, we went with support instead of defense. Giant Slayer still the right thing. I don't have a blessing on her. I wish I would have had a Phantom Touch. She could potentially bring nice damage like that. And the main thing for the Fire Knight, I'll be very honest with you, the reason why I don't think she will do a lot of damage is that she needs to get damage herself. She needs to have low HP and constantly to stay like that. And that's not sustainable in the Fire Knight. You're not doing unkillable teams in the Fire Knight, and you need to heal back somehow. This is the team that I'm running, but this is the team that I'm usually running. Instead of her, I have Krutraxa as lead, you know? So just so you guys kind of like know what sort of team I'm running. These are the presets on the team for whoever is kind of like curious. I want her to open with a A2. She will go only after the boss, so she has full turn meter and she takes two turns to overlap the boss. Like that, I'm going to drop the shield faster and Newt is going to be able to drop turn meter, drop the enemy max HP straight off the back, you know. So we're going to keep the shield down for longer. So that's very, very important to have her slower than the boss, which is 250. So I have her at 247. Cardial presets. Now, my entire team right here is built for damage. Every single one of them is built for damage. Savage sets, except Martyr. Martyr, she is actually on a shield set, but other than that, everybody is on Savage, of course. Martyr and Blademaster are not. But let's crack on with the run, guys. I've only done one before, so I'm not even 100% sure if we have 100% win rate with her in the team or no. With Krutraxa, I'm just melting the waves, and then I'm melting the boss too. So that's kind of like the good thing about this team. The more damage I have, the easier it is to defeat it. I feel like if you don't have Foley, if you don't have Kutraxa, even a Coldheart might perform better in here because I don't need to have increased speed in this team, you know? This team is just so well uh, uh, trained to do what they need to do that it never changes the cycle, the rotation, you know? It's always the same thing. It's kind of like running one team, you do one run and you memorize that and constantly rerun that over and over again, you know? That's how this team works. Now with her in here, it will be different because I'm kind of like 20 seconds delayed from the waves. I'm killing the waves slower. But when I get at the boss, it's pretty much following the same principle. Put the counter attack, the boss hits, they're all slowly getting their counter attacks in. And she's going to attack because you see she's on full turn meter. The boss has 0 turn meter right now. So she's taking the first turn. Puts increased speed on the rest, but that doesn't really matter. Ally attack, we drop the shield. We drop that turn meter with Newt's A1. We have the defense down from Martyr. Enemy max HP. She's gonna go in with her A3 now. At some point, which is not that important to be spot on. The damage that she's doing in this team is not very good, and I feel like it's going to be the exact same problem with every single team that she will be in for the Fire Knight. And the reason why I'm saying it is because she's gonna need to heal back. If not, the more hits they're gonna get from the shield, you know, the more likely is that she's going to die. And even though right now the passive doesn't work properly on the test server, is a bit bugged, I feel like the damage from the passive, the extra 50%, and then when you have defense down dealing extra damage, is not to its full potential. And that's a bit of a bummer for the Fire Knight if you kind of like want to make her your main character. Right now the passive proc, it kept her alive. We got no healing from it. So it's weird. The passive sometimes procs, sometimes it doesn't. It's like so weird what's happening with it, you know? I don't even know why it's happening. So 4 hits with a Giant Slayer, how I mentioned, it would be amazing to have it, you know? But unfortunately, we don't have that. No soul reprocking, there we go. So it took us 2 minutes and 46 seconds. The team did not felt very safe. Overall, Kymar dealt 800k damage. She dealt 1,083,000. Martyr 917k. Kymar usually deals more damage because he has AoE on the waves. I would expect him to deal more damage there, but on the boss, she's recovering the damage, you know. 55 turns, you see, my best team is 1 minute and 5 seconds, 27 turns, so this is literally double the turns of my best turn and best turn count, sorry. And with that team, usually the turn count is 27 to 31. It really depends at the boss if Kutraxa and the others get to move after or no. So that's how she's going to be played on the Fire Knight. Of course, how I mentioned, if you want to run her on lower stages, guys, I feel like for stage 6, it's better if you are doing something like this, for example. So let's just say we take those 2 out. We're going to keep Kymar for the moment in there. This could potentially be an option. The only thing that you're going to struggle with, it will be the waves, okay? You're going to have to struggle a bit there. Of course, you can always do we have Nelder available? Yeah, you can always bring in a Nelder here. And Nelder as well has freeze on the A1. Decrease attack, decrease accuracy, decrease speed on the boss. So this will be a nice combination, you know, to have something like this. Double ally attack. You have a lot of speed from her. And this could potentially be a pretty interesting team to run on stage 6. But this will not work on stage 10. And even for stage 6, I feel like they could potentially get 3%ed Newt Nelder too often and don't drop the turn meter consistently, and that will basically mess it up, you know, and have a 3% failure rate or something like that. For the normal difficulty as a progression, she's going to be massive. For the Cursed City, again, she's going to be massive on the Fire Knight with all the restrictions. I do want to try one more thing. I'm not sure if it's going to work, guys, but I want to take her in for the Sand Devil's Necropolis. I feel like how we've done it before with different champions like Basilisk, where he soloed the stage, she could potentially do that too. Now, she's not going to be something that's going to be used to farm stage 25 because it's Force Affinity, so she's not going to be able to do that. But for the Cursed City, where we have to defeat that boss, you know, I think she might be able to solo it. So I'm quickly going to change the build on her regeneration and I'll be right back. So I gave her a regeneration and a Defiance set, guys, just to try and go on the Sand Devil. And I really think that with a blessing, she could potentially do the stage 24 without a problem. Now, my main concern right now is that her passive doesn't work properly. So we're gonna have to see what sort of result we can achieve with a broken passive with a bug in the game at the moment. Probably not something spectacular. And if they would make a Path of Light event or something that will give us a 5-star blessing for her in-game, that will actually be pretty nice. Even for the Fire Knight, you get in a Phantom Touch, you know, it's gonna be massive. If you want to do something something else with a Brimstone, that's gonna be very solid for the Sand Devil's Necropolis. I feel like I'm gonna be able to test this better if they will rectify the bug on the test server once they're gonna discover it, or when I'm gonna have it on the actual account once the fusion is done, which is going to be a bit late, unfortunately, you know. But these are the total stats that we have on at the moment. It's not as impossible to tank her. I wish I would have more defense though. 71k HP, 4.4k defense, 227 speed. So overall, it's kind of like tanking my Godseeker and Iri, more or less, you know. Masteries, I'm about to change this because that's not what we want. We definitely want to have a damage reduction here. That's going to be pretty important. Shield doesn't really matter. The rest, again, they don't really matter as much, you know. Counterattack is something that probably I don't want to take. I really think that will mess up my entire thing, you know. And I'm not even sure what I would take for the last mastery. You know, I'm definitely gonna get Life Drinker. That might help us a bit with the Giant Slayer procs, because that's what we're going to get right here. So we're gonna go to Giant Slayer, and right here I don't want counterattack. I don't really want to get any of the rest. You know, like I feel like they might mess up my my whole run. So I'm gonna stick with it as it is right now. We're gonna keep a red dot in there, and this should give us a bit of better survivability, you know. For stage 25, like there's literally no chance, okay? And I know people don't care about farming the weaker stages now, the lower stages, because this is the only one that gives you Chaos Dust. And one thing that I've recently discovered as well is that you might get Chaos Dust from failing. Somebody told me actually today. I can't remember who, to be honest, but you can actually get dust if you're failing. So we're gonna check that out. Now, the one thing that I haven't done, how you probably saw, is that I haven't got the support masteries to get extra speed from having that allies, because we can have her speed aura instead. So having food in here is not as important. But I do have to make preferably a preset. So let me just make a preset actually. So we're gonna do like that to make sure she's not using these skills, you know. The problem right here as well is like, do I want to use any of these skills? Am I not dropping the boss's sleep too fast? Maybe Giant Slayer was a bad idea too, thinking about it, you know. But we're gonna give it a go. Let's just say we're stopping these skills. We're only using the basic skill on the boss, you know. But I feel like Giant Slayer would be an issue. So I feel like War Master would be the thing, because I'm thinking about Blizzard. That was kind of like the same sort of thing that was happening, you know. If you had Giant Slayer on Blizzard, that was actually messing you up. Now, how I mentioned, this is not going to happen on this stage 100%, but I'm still gonna give it a go. You see, so she's staying up. She should be going back to 50% HP. But unfortunately, the passive is broken, so that doesn't work. That's the bug right now. I feel like this is not going to go well on any of the stages that I'll be doing, you know? Like, even if I'm going on stage 24, I'm gonna hit the exact same difficulty, you know? She's not going to go back on 50% HP. Yeah, so that's gonna be an issue. Unfortunately, I cannot really test her in here right now. That's a bummer. If by any chance they're going to fix it on the test server in the next few days, I'll be diving in to do a guide on her there and see if I can manage to get some of the stages soloed with her, you know? Maybe even for progression, to help you progress from a lower stage to a higher stage. But that was all for today's video. Let me know what you think about Zinogre, guys. She definitely impressed me in Clan Boss, 100%. But I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Appreciate every single one of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.